Hi everyone, Adam from SoiLife here. I'm an environmental scientist with over 30 years experience in gardening and soil management and composting and all sorts of fun things that you can do in the garden. I'd like to share with you some of my gardening tips that will help you move out of summer into autumn and winter. Some of these tips include opening up your spaces to more light, preparing your garden beds, and what you might want to look at planting from seed and seedling. These tips will be aimed at the more subtropical regions where I'm at, but you can also extrapolate some of these into the more tropics and in the southern states. So come with me and we'll jump into all of the tips I've got for you. The first tip is pruning for lower light conditions. So we've got some lovely lily pillies here, and they're acting as not only a screen but also shade for those summer months. Coming into the lower light conditions of autumn and winter, you could look at pruning this back just a touch. This will allow you to get that morning light into your garden beds that you'll be prepping up. You've also got to be mindful of your neighbours. So you don't want to be pruning your neighbour's side too hard because they might get a little bit annoyed at you. So just be mindful of that and take care to allow enough light for your garden, but also the privacy of your neighbours. Tip number 2 is cleaning up your gardens after summer. You can see here that this pumpkin has gone pretty wild. I'd be getting ready for some autumn bed maintenance by removing this pumpkin as much as I could, harvesting the beautiful pumpkins that are in here. We've got a lot of room to move in here now and grow some beautiful fruits and vegetables through our autumn and winter growing season. When the seasons change, don't just rip everything out of your garden. Make sure you look around as you're pulling out all the things to get ready for the next season. Make sure you're not pulling out your flowers that are still going to be beneficial to your garden. Keep an eye out for beneficial plants like purslane, bidens, pelosa, and all of the other flowering plants. There's even basil over here, which we don't want to damage too much because that's providing a lot of food for the pollinators in our garden. I wouldn't come through here with a brush cutter because you've got bandicoots that hunker down and can be in here. You've got snakes. I like snakes personally, but some people don't, so be mindful of those. And all kinds of lizards and other garden animals that really support the diversity of your garden to even help with pest maintenance, eating snails and slugs like blue tongues will do. So be really mindful of the other creatures that live in your garden in landscapes like this. Don't just go in there and go crazy. Take your time, pull out what you need to, and pay attention to what you're doing. So tip number 3 for your autumn and winter preparation is composting. Composting is not always good if you're going to just throw everything in there. Look for disease, look for pest problems, and make sure you don't throw your seeds in there, because if you're throwing this pumpkin in there and you throw a pumpkin in there, the seeds, it'll just proliferate and take over your compost. You don't want to compost unhealthy plants. You want to have a look at what's going on with them. So they could be under disease pressure or pest pressure. Anything for me that is disease pressured, I will not put in my compost because I don't want to spread that disease. But anything that has, some bites on it or some insect larvae, that can all go in my compost, and I'm pretty happy with that. Probably about 90% of this pumpkin can go into my compost when we pull it out of this bed in preparation for our autumn and winter planting. So next time you're composting, make sure you have a look through to make sure you're checking what you're putting in your compost. As you can see, there's lots to do in your autumn and winter veggie patch, but the last tip I've got for you is probably the best one. So take your time. Don't rush into pulling everything out. Really look around, because you don't want to get into these cooler days without understanding what's going on in your garden. And we might also get some warmer days still coming into March and even April sometimes. So really be mindful that you don't want to just rip everything out, and you want to just do that little bit of preparation work when you can get into the garden. So with these tips, don't jump the gun. Just take your time and you'll have a beautiful veggie patch coming into your autumn and winter months. If you found this valuable, please let me know. If there's anything else I should know and you'd love to hear about, or if you've got a question, also let me know in the comments, and I'd love to chat with you. Thanks for watching everyone, and I'll catch you on the next one.